Hello everyone, Christmas greetings to you all. Do you like my new Christmas jumper? First time I've shown you this on my channel. I bought this earlier in the year, long before Christmas this arrived. I pre-ordered it. It's CFAX. Some of you old enough will know what CFAX was. Long before the internet, some televisions came equipped with teletext, which meant you could use your remote control, dial up the page number and see various things: news, weather, recipes, jokes, the top 20 hits of the day, all sorts of information. That was the earliest sort of internet we had, or it was one way. You couldn't really, I don't think you could do it both ways. But I have fond memories of paging CFAX numbers and dialing the Oracle, which was ITV's teletext service. And so this commemorates a page of CFAX, and on the back, I don't know if we can see, but we should have some hits from the time. I think it's about maybe 1984. So this jumper is a bit earlier than this 1992 vacuum I'm going to show you. No unboxing. You've seen a sneak peek of this. You haven't seen it switched on. It sounds horrendous, so headphone users, maybe turn down the volume or take out your headphones when I initially switch this on, because although on the surface it looks absolutely beautiful, apart from a little flaw on the side, looks lovely, very good condition, but it sounds absolutely horrendous. So in this video, hopefully, at the start of the video, this is going to sound horrendous, and by the time I do a demonstration of this machine, it should sound a little bit better. This is Hoover model U2784. It's a turbo power boost total system with Autoflex. This was the top of the turbo power range back in the day. This particular one dates from 1992, and it's finished in, I believe the official colour is Lagoon Green Metallic, but don't quote me on that, but I think that's the colour. So it is a very dark, rich, sort of ocean green, bluey green, but the plastic itself on the bag door and the motor hood is flecked with a little bits of metal or some metallic finish, and it's not sprayed on the outside because it's embedded into the plastic. It goes all the way through the plastic to the other side, and I believe reading a long time ago that it was something that Hoover developed in their machines. It was something they were first with this metallic, and it really does make the machine gleam. Not as sparkly as my Christmas tree behind me, but it's still a lovely machine. I'm not going to show you much about this machine yet. I'm going to first switch it on. As I said, this is exceptional, the condition of this. When I actually got it, unboxed it, I imported this from Germany. So it's got a German plug on it, but it still works in the UK, no problem. We use the same voltage. When I got it, I was very pleased. It just needed a little bit of buffing up and cleaning and finessing. So it looks fantastic, but it sounds absolutely horrendous. So headphone users, I warn you now, turn down your volume, because this sounds absolutely horrible. So this turbo power boost doesn't sound too bad on its low setting, but when you click to maximum, it's pretty horrendous. Not as bad as I remembered, but still, it does seem a little bit too loud to my ears. I don't think it sounds quite right. I have had this opened, I've had a look at the motor, couldn't really see anything. So just to see if it's definitely the motor, and I'm pretty sure it is because I've run the motor without the activator attached. I have managed to get another motor. In fact, this is the second. I do have another one in stock. I saw this on eBay recently and bought it, but I knew somewhere in the depths of my garage I do have another Turbopower / Turbomaster motor, and I thought, because this cleaner looks so nice on the outside, I will treat it to a new / other motor. I think it's new. As it's an old motor, there's a bit of surface rust on there. It's probably from storage, but you know, the fan blades, as far as I can see, are okay. You see, it could be a slightly broken fan blade which is causing the noise in that. Often a noisy Turbopower can be caused by muck and dust and debris caught around the cooling fan, which is just located here, but the cooling fan on this was clear. So we've got a cooling fan one side, plastic fan blades the other, and we've got a suppressor in this motor, but that should be fine. I'm not going to bypass that. I'm just going to take the old motor out and connect this one. It should be more or less the same. We've even got the headlight socket there for the bulb. So I've got that. Also got a couple of new belts just in case. And also, because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to my vacuum cleaners, although this is in very good condition, there's a bit of scratching on the furniture guard. So again, I've got a new / other furniture guard to fit, which will, it's very slightly darker colour perhaps, but that's going to make it look even better. And with a new motor, I've also got some new bellows. Again, I've recently bought these, but I must have at least 10 of these somewhere in the garage, but it's just easier to buy another set from eBay. So we've got this that needs fitting, and we have this cable tie which fits around the base of it when it's actually on the motor to secure it in place. So it's going to be fairly simple, fingers crossed, famous last words. But let's get this opened, take out the old motor and insert a new one. First thing to do is remove the base plate, and look at it, folks. It's in very good condition. It's unusual that this was sold in Germany, because in Germany and other continental countries, upright cleaners have never been very popular. I think Hoover sent a few over to be sold in Europe. They did sell the Junior and Dirt Searcher. I think the Senior they sold. The convertible / Dial-O-Matic was made, I believe, in France, and obviously sold in France. Lost the screw, that always happens, but I'll grab that in a minute. I'm going to slip the belt off. I might put a new belt on just since I'm putting a new motor in. It will have stretched a bit. It is a genuine Hoover belt. And here's the activator brush roll, which I've cleaned up a bit, in very good condition, lots of life left in that. Look at the extra long side brushes in green for edge cleaning. So, right, let me just get that screw that I dropped. To access the motor, we've got two further screws just either side. One, oops, there we go, two. And if you need to change your headlight bulb, this is what you'd have to do. Let's turn that round. Retrieve the screws. Well, one's dropped out, the other's still in there. Next we have to take off the height right control knob, and with this total system model we need to release the hose, which you do normally need a screwdriver for, a flathead screwdriver. So I'll just change the bit, and there's a little metal clip, you just push that in. You might be able to do it without a screwdriver. It should. There we go. Now we can take the motor hood off. Yep, that's fine. Can you see what I mean about the metallic finish? Can you see it? It's on the inside as well. As I said, it's not just a surface finish. It actually is all the way through the plastic. Okie dokie, here we have the motor. Naturally, I've unplugged. This is not going to be as easy as I thought, because to remove the motor, I've also got to disengage the bellows from the bag housing and the bag support tube, the bag filler tube. So I'm going to do that first, I think. So I'll just put the machine upright. There you go. Hopefully you can see the top of the bag support tube where you push on the bag. So we need to remove that and then get the bellows out. To make it a bit easier to do and for you to see, I'm just going to remove the bag door, and to do that you need the flathead screwdriver, and you'll see here two little clips that hold the bag door in place. So you've just got to push down the front of the clip with your screwdriver. Right, I've done it. Phew. Right. Carefully, right, there we go. That's the bag door off. You can now see what I'm doing. So using a Phillips screwdriver, 2 screws here to undo on the support tube, and then that'll just wiggle out. Be careful when you're doing this, because you'll see a little tube that runs to it, and that runs to the bag check indicator, so that just pulls off. There's a little grommet, so try not to pull that out at the same time. That's quite a tight fit, so there you go, there's the grommet. So we'll put that to one side with the 2 screws, and I'll notice one of my nozzles has fallen off. I'll just clip that back on. It probably wasn't in properly. No, I'll leave it off. This is not going to be an easy video for me, is it? I'm just going to take the hose off as well, just for ease. I'm not stripping this machine right down because I've done it. It's all been cleaned out. But just to make things a little easier, we'll take off the hose. So, right, now, the bellows, again, can you see? Just at the bottom, and they're in a little, they're sort of wedged in. So you just need to use your finger and push the bellows through the hole, and be careful because it's very brittle plastic at this point. I've noticed a tiny crack appeared near the bellows. Once you've pushed the bellows through as far as you can, that should be enough. Then we can lower the handle. With the bellows released, we can now take out the motor. So at this side we've got a plastic bracket. This is at the fan side. There we go, so that just comes out. Keep the screws with it, and then we can disconnect. So all we have to do, we've got 2 wires to disconnect here, blue and brown. So it's brown at the top, blue at the bottom. Yours might be different. Just make sure you reassemble it as it was. Now I should be able to lift the motor out with the bellows. It might be a little bit stiff. There we are. Okay, so there's the motor. It looks fine to me. So I really don't know. Oh dear. It's a bit dirty. Yeah, actually looking at the cooling fan, there's a bit of muck around the blades. I can't think that would make a huge difference to the sound level of that, but anyway, I think the fan itself is okay. I can't see all of it. There might be part of it that's chipped, but it doesn't look bad. I'll put that to one side anyway. Try not to mess up my carpet that just shampooed. So now we're left. Oh, that's a bit of a SIBO Duo P powder that's only just picked up. I'm just going to wipe this out, and I'll be ready to insert the new motor. Before we fit the new motor, I need to attach the bellows. So here's the new set of bellows. They go only one way. You'll see it's an oblong shape, and it goes, actually, yeah, there's a little cutout. Can you just see a little cutout there? That goes towards the back, and this part here goes towards the front of the motor like this. So we've got to try and get the bellows tightly around this lip and onto the motor. So Fingers crossed. Right, there we go. It's finally on. It's a good job I stopped recording because I did utter the C word during the course of fitting this. And I'm not talking about Christmas, the other C word, the naughty one. So, it is on. It's not too bad. You've just got to be patient. It'll suddenly just go in. Maybe warming it with a hairdryer could help, or putting it in hot water. I'm sure I'll get many tips under the video. You need to make sure it's pliable. Don't do this when it's cold. If you've just got your spare part out of your garage or shed and it's freezing cold, you need it to be warm, I think. The warmer, the better, and it's a bit more pliable. So I think that would help, a hairdryer maybe, just to help sort of soften the plastic. But that is on. But we need to put the little cable tie on it. Now let's just double check. I think it goes that way. That's it. Now on the motor I took out, we had the join at the top. So we're not going to tighten it fully yet. Just make sure it's correctly positioned before you pull, because once you've done this, well, I'm already at the point of no return. I don't think I can loosen it off. You want to pull it fairly tight. There we go. I don't think I can do any tighter than that. And now we just need to cut off the excess. Okie dokie, we're now ready to insert the motor. First of all though, we've got to take two of the grommets from the old motor. So this is the spindle end. And it goes on this way. It does move round, and you'll need it to move because there's a little notch, a little sticky out bit there, which corresponds with a little sticky in bit there. You see, I know all the technical terms. This larger seal goes on the fan side, and you can only put that on one way because there's a little slit and a little nubbin on the motor. So obviously that little slit goes over the nubbin, so that'll only go in one way, like so. So there we have the fan chamber seal part and the motor spindle seal, which we can see we need to move. Let me see, we'll go to about there. So basically now we've got to manoeuvre the motor in. In fact, go back, because the easiest thing to do actually with a spindle grommet is to fit that to the chassis first, like so, right? And that's what you should do. Then you can insert the spindle into the hole, and then as you push the motor away from you, you need to start seating it where it should go. And again, this is, as I said, this is where talc could come in handy. I think mine's going in okay. That went very well. So as you can see, that is fitted very snugly now. It's fitted on the other side too. So that's the motor inserted. Before I do anything else, I'm going to manoeuvre the bellows back into the bottom of the bag compartment. And again, this could be a bit tricky. You'll see there's a slight cutout here. Now that corresponds with some wires. There's some sheathed wires that go from the motor up to the switch. So that just allows space for that. As long as you've got the bellows in the correct position on the motor, then it should all go in pretty easily. And like I said, the plastic is very brittle at this point. I think that's in. Let me just check. Hopefully you can just about see the bellows located in the bottom of the bag housing. So now we need to take the bracket here. Yours might be grey, yours might be white, yours might be black. They're all varied. Make sure it's inserted in the correct way, and then we can just tighten that up. Like so. Don't over tighten, that's perfect. And now basically, well, I need to connect up the motor and then pop in the headlight bulb, which I'll take from the old motor. This is a little LED car headlight bulb, or I don't know if it's a headlight bulb. They're not for a car. It's It's a bulb for a car anyway. So there we go. And then we need to connect up the brown live and the blue neutral wire to the terminals here on the suppressor. That's the motor all connected up. I'm just going to briefly switch it on just to make sure it works before reassembling the cleaner. Obviously the motor sounds quite loud as I haven't got the hood on or the bag door and everything, so once it's all fully assembled we'll switch on again and hopefully this Turbopower Autoflex will sound a little bit better than it did at the start of the video. Well, there you go, the Hoover Turbopower Boost Autoflex Total System. What a lovely gift for an early 90s housewife to find under her tree. She didn't want jewellery, she doesn't want makeup, perfume, nice pretty things. She wanted something to help her with her housework, and this Hoover Turbopower Boost certainly would have deep cleaned her plush pile carpets and all around her home. What wife would want more than this for Christmas? Oh yes, okay, calm down, calm down. By the 90s, ladies or gentlemen didn't want a Hoover for Christmas. I did, but I'm weird. But normally ladies wanted something special, something for themselves, something that had thought behind it. They didn't want a domestic appliance. But back in the day, when domestic appliances were expensive and new, some ladies would have been quite happy to receive even an iron for Christmas, as you'll see from some old adverts. You know, ladies were grateful for what hubby's brought home. Ladies were at home looking after the house, looking after the children, and any labour-saving gadget that would help them do the housework a bit quicker and a bit easier would have been welcomed. I know it's a foreign concept to most of you watching. They'd think, who would want that? But I know some of you watching this channel, especially if you've stayed to the end of this video, would be quite happy to receive one of these for Christmas, or any vacuum cleaner. And I'm sure some of you watching will be getting vacuum cleaners for Christmas. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this festive edition, and if you have any comments or questions about the Turbopower Boost or the Turbopower range in general, please comment below, and I'll see you very soon for another video. Bye for now.